assignment, you will be producing a persuasive speech assignment. Okay, so you'll be producing a persuasive speech. Okay, we call this persuasive speech assignment. This is 15%. It is individual assignment. Okay, so the individual assignment due date is on week 7, 31st of August 2020. Okay, we will start presentation on Tuesday, which is 1st of September 2020. Okay, for the whole of next week, we will be learning about persuasive speech, and you will be doing and working on your persuasive speech in class. Okay, so presentation starts on the 1st of September 2020. Okay, refer to week 5 appendix A to G. Okay, the materials are there. Okay, written speech 5%, presentation is 10%. Let me show you. Before I start, I'm telling you first so that you will pay attention, so that you will know how to write your speech later on. Okay, so course content. Okay, as you can see, this is week 5 A to G, the persuasive speech. Okay, this is video of persuasive speech. This is the speech template. Later we'll be using all this. This is speech example. This is speech instruction. Okay. So let me just go through the speech instruction. So your speech should be 5 to 7 minutes. You wear a formal attire. Okay. Do you all want to have a face-to-face presentation, or do you prefer to do it online? Okay. You answer me. You please tell me what you think on the class chat. Okay. Font size 12, 1.5 spacing, include your title. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so this is some of the speech instructions. Okay, this is a speech cover page. This is the presentation rubric. Your content is very important. The topic and main messages are clear, accurate, detailed information that supports main messages, effective use of rhetorical devices. Remember, ethos, pathos, and logos. Language, okay, grammar and all that. Delivery, good volume, energy, good pace, good eye contact, varied intonation. So this is a written rubric. It is only 5%. Okay, so the persuasive speech, right, we are using this Monroe's motivated sequence to write. Okay, later I will teach you how to use the 5 steps of in Monroe motivated sequence to write a persuasive speech. Okay, so there must be an inviting introduction, satisfying conclusion, effective sequencing and pacing, okay, transitions, right? Content must narrow, knowledgeable, goes beyond obvious or predictable, relevant, accurate details, shows connection, grammar, there should be no grammar, spelling or punctuation errors. Okay, this is your speech rubric. Okay. And this is your speech topics. You will choose one of the topics to present about. Okay, this is the speech topics. This is under appendix G. Okay, so later on we will choose the topics that you want to write about. Okay, so today we are going to we're going to learn how to write first. Okay, so what you all think? Do you all want to do it in class, or you want daily use speeches? The other 2 types are an informative and special occasion speech. Okay, so persuasive speech is the most used type of speech. Normally, next time when we go out into the society, the speeches that we will be giving is one of these 3: persuasive, informative, and special occasion, meaning when you get married and all that. But informative, meaning you are giving a speech to tell the public about certain information, and persuasive speech, a speech that you give to persuade them to do something. Okay, that's why it is called a persuasive speech. Okay, the aim of a persuasive speech is to inform, educate, and convince or motivate an audience to do something. Like I said just now, persuasive speech is to educate them. Okay, so you are essentially trying to sway the audience and to adopt your own viewpoint. So now here you are trying to sway the audience. Maybe at first when they come to and listen to your speech, they might be thinking of something else. But after they have listened to your speech, they will tend to sway towards what you have told them, and that they will accept your viewpoint. So to write a very good persuasive speech, it must be thought-provoking, it must be daring, and it must have a clear opinion. So thought-provoking, daring, and clear opinion. So this is three very important things when you are writing a persuasive speech. Okay, so what is a persuasive speech now? Okay, persuasive speech, an example will be an advertisement. It's a good example of persuasive speech. The sellers have a goal to convince buyers to buy their product. Okay, they want you to buy their product. That's why they are advertising. Okay, so but for speeches, we use it when we are having a debate or a legal proceeding. You know, when debating, you are debating in Dewan Rakyat, Dewan Negara, they also are also debating. That is a more formal kind of debate. Okay, then debates, we have class debates, we have national debates where they debate on certain things. Legal proceeding is like when we are in court. Okay, there's a defendant, there's the pursuant. Okay, they are arguing about something. Okay, so a legal proceeding is where the lawyer gives a the introduction of the case, or to wrap it up when they have finished discussing about the case. Before they end, they are wrapping it up. That is a legal proceeding. That it can be like that as well. Okay, so you should speak about something you are knowledgeable about and can argue your opinion for, as well as objectively discuss counter arguments. So you must be able to give when you want to give a persuasive speech, you must be very knowledgeable about the speech, about the topic that you are going to be talking about. Okay, and you know, your opinions, you can argue using your opinions and objectively discuss any kind of counter arguments, anything that you any kind of counter arguments that you think might be that the opponents might have. Okay, so you will be able to rebut them. Okay, refute to what they have said. Okay, so persuasion is basically changing people's mind, so they won't change if they don't see the reason of it. So persuasion, when we want to persuade somebody to do something, is to change them, change their perception, change their mind. So you need to have a very good support as to why they should change. If not, they won't change. Okay, so in your persuasive speech, you must give very, very solid and good reasons why they must do what you have told them to do. Okay, so how do we write a persuasive speech then? Okay, we write a persuasive speech using the Monroe's motivated sequence. And no, it is not Marilyn Monroe, the beauty. Okay, it's Ellen H. Monroe. Okay, in the mid-1930s, okay, he was from Purdue University. He developed a technique, a strategy for organizing persuasive speech that inspire people to seek immediate action. So people will seek immediate action. Okay, so organization plays a central role in persuasive speech. Okay, so this is the organization of the Monroe's motivated sequence. It must start with the attention step first, followed by the need, where you describe the problem and why the audience need to change. After you have talked about the problem and why they have to change, you tell them how to solve this problem, present a solution to them. And once you have presented a solution to them, now you get them to visualize what will happen if they adopt your solution and solve the problem. Okay, this visualization here can go both ways. You can do a positive visualization, meaning if they adopt your solution, what will happen to them? Life will be great, yada yada. And then you can also use the negative visualization, where once they have they have heard your speech, they know their problem, but they do not adopt your solution. So what will happen to them? Or life will be bad, yada yada. Okay, so after the visualization, urge them, push them to take immediate action, to do it today. Okay, so this is the Monroe's motivated sequence. The speech must logically establish why the audience must change. So that is why the organization here is very, very important. It states the problem the customer is having first and explain if one cannot solidify the need, and give a representation of the situation that might occur. Okay, so like I told you just now, you need to now first you actually bring them to their attention, tell them the problem, give them a solution, let them visualize what will happen if they solve the problem, and ask them to take action. Okay, so this is how Monroe's motivated sequence logically establishes why the audience must change. Okay, we follow this sequence. Okay, so this is some examples of the attention. Okay, the different steps here, the Monroe's motivated sequence organization. So we start with the attention, where you get them to listen. So I want to hear what you have to say. So this should be what the audience, the ideal reaction. So when you actually start talking, you want them to listen, and the audience wants to listen to what you have to say. Okay. Then after the need, the problem, get the audience feel need on want. I agree that I have that need, I have that want, so I have that problem. Okay, so satisfaction, how to feel the need or want. So they will be thinking when you give them the solution, they must think that yes, this solution, this will work. Okay, after that, visualization, get the audience to see the benefit of the solution. The audience should be thinking to themselves, wow, this is a great idea. I want to do it immediately. So action, get audience to take action. I want it. I will do it now. It's now or never. So this is the steps that we are going to follow when we are writing a persuasive speech. And this is in accordance to Monroe's motivated sequence. Okay. So Monroe's motivated sequence, how do we actually get their attention? So remember your argumentative essay, I've taught you hooks. Okay, you can use the same thing, the anecdote, the rhetorical question, the illustration. Okay, not similar to hook, but just to get by creating desire to know more about the problem. Okay, it's you can say it's similar, but you can say it's not so similar, but at the end of the day, it is to capture the audience's attention. This is the function of the attention step. Okay, next is the need to describe the problem. Okay, so whatever problem that you're going to present to them, it must be backed by evidences. So you should have credible evidences from external sources. Just like your argumentative essay, you need to bring in the facts, the statistics, the research. Okay, stating a problem is not enough. Look at the problem from various angles, like a lawyer. Prove there's a need, there's a problem, and there's a need for change. Why they should change. Okay, let's look at attention here first. Let's look at Yap J's essay. A very good afternoon to Miss Y and my classmate. Of course, in a speech, you must greet people first. So have you ever wondered why people feel depressed? So he is using a rhetorical question. Depression is not an illness. It's an illness, not a choice, quoted J.K. Rowling. We do not get to choose to be depressed or not. When I was a kid, I always felt sad and empty inside because I had no friends. I was too shy of a person to open up to other people. This empty feeling inside me has demolished my interest and enthusiasm to live. My school grades slowly went downhill, and I also lost my appetite to eat. One day, my parents took me to see the doctor. They ran multiple blood tests, screening, and other tests on me. Little did I know I was diagnosed with clinical depression. Depression in the world today is a serious issue that needs to be resolved right away. Therefore, I stand by you today to talk about the problem of people not knowing that they have depression with the solution of going to counseling. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the attention. It is to create the desire to know more about problems. So this boy here, Zachary, he came up with this topic. Last time we allowed students to choose their own topic. So he came up with this topic where depression is no joke. He had depression, so he talked about himself, so to create attention that the audience want to listen to what he has to say. Then he presented his thesis statement here. Therefore, I stand by you today to talk about the problem. Okay, remember the thesis statement will state the problem and the solution and the last paragraph in the last sentence of the introduction paragraph. Can you see it here? Okay, so this is the thesis statement. You straight away tell people what is the problem and what is the solution. Okay, so you can do it this way. Okay, this is the easiest way. Create attention, then present the thesis statement. Okay, so just now we talk about the problem, the need step, describe the problem. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now many of us students probably do not know that we have depression. See, this is a problem. Okay, many of us here today, we don't know that we are depressed. Even though we are depressed, we do not know this. Okay, so this is because we do not evaluate, keep track of our mental health, including me. I did not realize that I had depression until my parents took me to the doctors. The statistics from the Health Ministry of Malaysia has clearly shown that more than 18,000 Malaysians are suffering from depression each year. Imagine what would the figure be if we add the number of people who have depression without knowing it. If we feel depressed and do not get immediate treatment, it may cause us to have suicidal thoughts. Hence, we must take the issue of depression among society seriously, as it can greatly affect one's quality life and well-being. So you're presenting the problem that many people don't know they have depression, and that in Malaysia itself, there are many people who suffer from depression but do not know it. So that is why we need to take this issue seriously, because it will affect our well-being. Okay, so he has presented his problem here. Next, he has to present a solution to the audience. Okay, so the need described above must now be satisfied and must be solved. There must be a solution to that problem, okay, that fits the reasoning and emotional minds of your audience. So you can give theoretical demonstration, explanation, should also address objections. Okay, let's see how he does it. So now you present your solution. The most simple and obvious way to overcome this problem is to go for counseling. It's so easy for us students to find a counselor. Nearly every education institution offers free counseling. All we have to do is to make an appointment and we are good to go. In fact, a recent study carried out, can you see now? There is a credible evidence from external source. He has it here as well. Statistics here is by the Society of General Internal Medicine, found out that 2 in 3 depressed people do not seek treatment. Counselors can help provide therapy and guidance to relieve depression and make things much easier. If we feel sad for a day, that could just be sadness. If we feel sad for a week, that could be depression. Therefore, you and I must know that depression does not last forever. It definitely can be treated. Can you see now? Here he attracted attention in the first paragraph. Then he actually presented the problem. Okay, here he presented the solution. Okay, so after the solution, we have to go to visualization, right? Help the audience see your result. If you use the solution, what will happen? If you don't use this solution, what will happen to you? You can also contrast both situations. So imagine what depression can cause to one's life. Imagine what depression can do to us if we do not seek help. We cannot deny the fact that many studies have shown that untreated depression can lead to hormonal imbalance, drug abuse, anxiety, or even death by suicide. So she's giving a negative picture. Depression is a major fact of suicide. The feeling of hopelessness will push us into a dark corner where it will make us think that the only way out is to take our own lives. Okay, suicide accounts for nearly 1 million deaths per year according to the World Health Organization. Again, there's an external source here to support what he's saying. Personally, I once had suicidal thoughts when I was 9 years old. I still remember the day where I firmly gripped on a kitchen knife wanting to end my life. But luckily, I was strong enough to control my emotions. So this is a visualization. He's painting a picture of a negative effect. Okay, so what will happen if you continue on like this and you do not adopt his solution to go for counseling? You will end up committing suicide. Okay. Next is action. You want to motivate your audience to act. What actions can your audience personally take to solve the problem? So make the action steps easy for them by challenging them and summarizing it for them. Okay, so can you see? To conclude, it is clear that depression is not only a mental illness, he's summarizing, but it's also extremely life-threatening. So we need to keep in mind that if we feel sad all the time, we must look for a counselor immediately. As quoted by Michelle Obama, mental illness is not a choice, but recovery is. As many as 300 million people suffer from depression. Do you want to be the next statistics? So he's urging you to take action now. Okay, that mental illness is not a joke, summarizing it, that we must look for a counselor immediately. Okay, so this is how you should write as well. Okay, notice that he has he has repetition here. Imagine what depression can cause to one's life. Imagine what depression can do to us if we do not seek help. Why do we repeat? We repeat because audience can feel the rhythm and they can remember better. Okay, so this is what you should do as well. Okay, can you see this is a very good persuasive speech that is written by my former student Yap Jae. Okay, so you should also be writing something like this. Okay,